Imagine for a moment that everything you've ever wanted, success, freedom, respect, recognition, wasn't a gift someone could hand you, but a mountain you had to climb with your own two hands. Most people give up before they even get halfway. Most people quit because the climb is uncomfortable, because progress is slow, because results don't appear fast enough. But you are not most people. You are someone who refuses to settle for mediocrity, someone who understands that the journey is just as important as the destination. Today, I want to take you on a journey, not outside, but inside yourself. Because the greatest battles you will ever face, the victories you will ever earn begin in the mind. Right here, right now. What separates ordinary people from extraordinary people is not luck, not talent, not opportunity. It's patience, it's resilience, it's the relentless refusal to give up when the world whispers, "This is too hard for you." Every second you hesitate, every doubt you entertain, every distraction you chase is a moment stolen from the person you are capable of becoming. Imagine if every setback you've ever faced, every rejection, every failure, every no you've heard was actually a stepping stone designed to shape you into something great. Imagine harnessing that energy instead of limit. That is the mindset you need to dominate your life, to push through limits, to turn the impossible into the inevitable. Right now, I want you to forget everything you think you know about success. Forget the stories of overnight wins. Forget the lies that talent alone is enough. True success is quiet, invisible at first, and often misunderstood. It grows in the shadows, built by patience, discipline, and relentless action when no one is watching. Every moment you practice focus, every small choice you make to push forward despite discomfort, compounds into a force you cannot even imagine. Those who quit early will never understand the power of slow, steady, unstoppable momentum. But you are not quitting. You are here. You are listening. You are ready. Over the next few minutes, I will show you why the world's greatest achievers, the people who seem unstoppable, didn't get there by luck. They got there by enduring when others gave up, by staying committed when hope was scarce, and by understanding that failure is not an end but a teacher. I will show you how patience turns effort into skill, how discipline turns action into character, and how endurance turns ordinary people into legends. This is not just a speech, this is a call to action. A call to awaken the part of you that refuses to quit, that refuses to accept average, that refuses to settle for less than what you are capable of achieving. By the end of this video, you will see your struggles differently. You will see your setbacks as fuel, your challenges as training grounds, and your persistence as the weapon that separates you from the crowd. This is your moment to rise, to focus, to claim the life that most people will never dare to chase. So listen closely, absorb every word, and prepare to take the first step toward the relentless, unstoppable version of yourself that has been waiting for this very moment. Your climb begins now, and the only way to fail is to stop moving. Keep watching, keep believing, keep pushing. Your time is not tomorrow, not next week, not when the world says you're ready. Your time is now. Success is often misunderstood because people only see the final picture, not the long, quiet process behind it. When we look at someone who has made it, we see confidence, freedom, and achievement, and we assume it happened quickly. What we don't see are the years of uncertainty, the slow progress, the repeated failures, and the moments when nothing seemed to work. This is why the first and most important truth about success is this: success is a long game, not a lucky moment. Many people believe success arrives like a sudden gift. They think one idea, one video, one opportunity, or one connection will change everything overnight. This belief is dangerous because it creates unrealistic expectations. When results don't come fast, frustration takes over, motivation drops, doubt enters. And eventually, most people quit, not because they lack ability, but because they lack patience. They were prepared for excitement, not endurance. The reality is that success grows slowly, often invisibly. In the beginning, progress feels painfully small. You put in effort, but the rewards don't match your energy. You work hard, yet recognition doesn't come. You improve, but nobody seems to notice. This is the phase where most people give up. They assume that slow progress means they are doing something wrong. In truth, slow progress is exactly how real success begins. Just like a tree takes years to grow strong roots before it can stand tall, your journey requires time to build a foundation. Think about learning any valuable skill. Whether it's communication, leadership, business, discipline, or creativity, mastery doesn't happen in weeks or months. It happens through repetition, mistakes, and gradual improvement. At first you struggle, then you understand a little more, then you fail again. Over time, those small improvements compound. One day you realize you can do things that once felt impossible. But that moment only comes to those who stayed patient when growth felt boring and slow. Luck does exist, but luck favors people who are prepared. What looks like a lucky break from the outside is often the result of years of effort behind the scenes. Opportunities don't appear out of nowhere. They appear when you've developed enough skill, mindset, and experience to recognize and handle them. If success truly came from luck alone, it'd be random and unreliable. Yet we consistently see that people who stay committed longer tend to win more often. That's not luck. That's patience meeting preparation. Another hard truth is that the early stages of success are lonely. When you start something new, very few people believe in you. Some may doubt you, some may laugh, others may ignore you completely. At this stage, external validation is rare. If your motivation depends on applause, you will quit early. Patience teaches you to work without rewards, to believe without proof, and to move forward without guarantees. This inner strength is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. The long game also teaches humility. When success takes time, you learn respect for the process. You stop chasing shortcuts and start valuing consistency. You understand that growth cannot be rushed without consequence. People who want fast success often skip essential lessons, and later, when pressure comes, they collapse. Patience, on the other hand, strengthens your mindset. It prepares you to handle bigger challenges, bigger responsibilities, and bigger wins without losing yourself. There is also a psychological shift that happens when you accept success as a long journey. You stop panicking about daily results and start focusing on daily effort. Instead of asking, why am I not successful yet? You ask, did I improve today? This shift reduces stress and increases clarity. You become more focused, more disciplined, and more resilient. You learn to enjoy the process instead of constantly chasing the finish line. Many people quit just before things start working. This is one of the cruelest realities of life. Progress is often non-linear. You may work for months with little to show for it, and then suddenly things begin to move faster. But the fast growth only happens because of the slow preparation that came before it. Those who quit early never experience this phase. They walk away carrying the false belief that they weren't good enough, when in reality they simply weren't patient enough. Playing the long game also means understanding that setbacks are part of the journey, not signs of failure. Delays, obstacles, and disappointments don't mean you're off track. They mean you're being tested. Every meaningful goal will challenge your patience. Life will ask you again and again how badly you want it. Each time you choose to continue instead of quitting, you build mental strength. Over time, this strength becomes your greatest advantage. When you truly accept that success takes time, you stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison creates impatience because everyone's timeline is different. Some people start earlier, some get support sooner, some find clarity faster. None of that invalidates your journey. The long game mindset allows you to focus on your own path, your own pace, and your own progress. It teaches you that slow growth is not weak growth. It is sustainable growth. In the end, success is not a moment you reach. It is a result of who you become over time. The long game shapes your character, sharpens your skills, and strengthens your mindset. It teaches you discipline when motivation fades, belief when results are invisible, and resilience when things go wrong. People who understand this don't rush. They don't panic. They don't quit early. They stay patient, keep learning, and keep moving forward. Because real success doesn't arrive in a single lucky moment. It arrives quietly after years of patience, persistence, and trust in the process. Failure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. Most people see it as a sign that they are not good enough, not smart enough, or not meant to succeed. From a young age, we are taught to avoid mistakes, to fear getting things wrong, and to feel ashamed when we fail. But the truth is very different. Failure is not a stop sign on the road to success. It is a teacher. It is one of the most powerful tools for growth, clarity, and long-term achievement if you are willing to learn from it instead of running away from it. Every meaningful journey includes failure. If you have never failed, it usually means you have never tried anything difficult. Failure appears when you step outside your comfort zone, when you aim higher than your current abilities, and when you take risks that matter. In that sense, failure is not evidence of weakness. It is evidence of courage. It shows that you are moving forward instead of standing still. The problem is not failure itself, but how people interpret it. When something doesn't work, many people immediately turn against themselves. They say, "I'm not made for this," or "I'm not talented," or "this is not for people like me." These thoughts are emotional reactions, not facts. Failure does not define your potential. It reveals what you still need to learn. Each failure carries information. It shows you what strategy didn't work, what assumption was wrong, and where you need to improve. If you ignore this information, failure feels painful and useless. If you study it, failure becomes guidance. One of the greatest lessons failure teaches is humility. When things go wrong, your ego takes a hit. This can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Ego makes people believe they already know enough. Failure breaks that illusion. It forces you to listen, to observe, and to learn. It reminds you that growth is always possible and that no one is above the process. People who succeed long-term are not those who avoid failure, but those who stay teachable through it. Failure also builds resilience, which is one of the most valuable traits for success. The ability to recover, adapt, and continue after setbacks is what separates those who quit from those who eventually win. Each time you face failure and choose to move forward, you strengthen your mental endurance. You become less afraid of trying again. Over time, failure loses its power to paralyze you. It becomes something you expect, manage, and even respect as part of the journey. Another important lesson failure teaches is clarity. Often we start with vague goals and unrealistic expectations. Failure forces reality into the picture. It shows you what works and what doesn't, what you are good at and where you need help. It sharpens your understanding of yourself and your direction. Without failure, many people would continue chasing the wrong path for years. Failure, painful as it is, can save you time by redirecting you toward better decisions. Failure also develops problem-solving skills. When things go smoothly, there is little reason to think deeply or creatively. But when something breaks, you are forced to analyze, adjust, and innovate. This process strengthens your ability to think strategically. Over time, people who have failed more often become better decision makers because they have experienced the consequences of bad choices and learned how to avoid them. This wisdom cannot be taught in theory. It is earned through experience. There is also a powerful emotional maturity that comes from failure. You learn how to manage disappointment, frustration, and self-doubt. You learn that emotions, while intense, are temporary. This understanding prevents you from making impulsive decisions when things go wrong. Instead of reacting emotionally, you begin to respond thoughtfully. This emotional control becomes a major advantage in high-pressure situations where calm thinking matters most. Many people quit at the first or second failure because they believe success should feel smooth. But success is rarely smooth. It is messy, uncertain, and uncomfortable. Those who succeed are not immune to doubt. They simply don't let doubt decide their future. They understand that failure is feedback, not a final verdict. Each setback is a test of commitment. The question is never a "did I fail?" but "what did I learn and how will I adjust?" Failure also teaches patience. When things don't work immediately, you are forced to slow down and reflect. You begin to understand that growth cannot be rushed. you learn to focus on progress rather than perfection. This patience helps you stay consistent even when results are delayed. Over time, consistency becomes more powerful than raw talent. Another important truth is that failure makes success meaningful. Without struggle, achievement feels empty. The challenges you overcome give value to your progress. They shape your story and strengthen your confidence. When you finally succeed, you know it was earned, not given. This confidence is different from arrogance. It is quiet, grounded, and resilient because it has been tested. Failure also changes how you see others. When you have failed, you become more empathetic. You understand struggle. You stop judging people too quickly. This emotional intelligence improves your relationships and leadership ability. People trust those who understand difficulty because they speak from experience, not theory. In the end, failure is not something to fear or avoid. It is something to use. It is a necessary part of becoming capable, confident, and strong. Every failure asks a simple question: will you learn or will you quit? Those who treat failure as a teacher grow wiser with every setback. Those who treat it as a stop sign never discover how far they could have gone. Failure does not mean the end of your journey. Often it means the beginning of real understanding. If you listen closely, failure will teach you lessons success never could. Patience and discipline are often spoken about as abstract virtues, but in reality, they are practical forces that shape who you become and what you are capable of achieving. The third key idea is simple but powerful. Patience builds skills and discipline builds character. Together, they form the backbone of long-term success. Without patience, you never stay long enough to truly learn. Without discipline, you never act consistently enough to grow. Talent may open the door, but patience and discipline decide how far you go after you step inside. Skill development is a slow and often uncomfortable process. In the beginning, you are clumsy, uncertain, and inconsistent. You make mistakes easily and struggle with basic tasks. This phase tests your patience more than anything else. Many people give up here because they expect quick competence. They assume that if something feels difficult, it must not be meant for them. In reality, difficulty is a sign that learning is happening. Patience allows you to stay present through this discomfort. It gives you the mental space to accept being bad at something long enough to eventually become good at it. Patience changes how you approach learning. Instead of rushing to look impressive, you focus on understanding. Instead of skipping steps, you respect the fundamentals. This mindset leads to deeper, more durable skills. People who rush often develop shallow abilities that collapse under pressure. Patient learners, on the other hand, build strong foundations. They may progress slowly at first, but their skills last longer and perform better in the real world. Discipline plays a different but equally important role. Discipline is not about intensity. It is the ability to show up even when motivation fades. Motivation is emotional and temporary. Discipline is structured and reliable. When you rely only on motivation, your effort becomes unpredictable. When you rely on discipline, progress becomes inevitable. Discipline turns good intentions into daily actions and daily actions into long-term results. Character is built through repeated choices, not grand moments. Each time you choose to work when it would be easier to quit, you strengthen your self-respect. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce trust in your own word. Discipline creates integrity between what you say you want and what you actually do. Over time, this integrity becomes character. People with strong character don't need external pressure to do the right thing. They act correctly because it aligns with who they are. Patience and discipline also protect you from emotional decision-making. When results are slow, impatience pushes people towards shortcuts. These shortcuts often lead to poor decisions, burnout, or failure. Discipline acts as a stabilizer. It keeps you moving forward methodically instead of reacting impulsively. This stability allows you to make rational choices even under pressure. In competitive environments, this calm consistency becomes a powerful advantage. Another important aspect is how patience and discipline interact with confidence. Confidence built on talent alone is fragile. When talent meets its limits, confidence collapses. Confidence built on discipline and patience is resilient. It comes from knowing you can endure difficulty and continue improving. You trust your process because you have proven it to yourself over time. This kind of confidence is quiet and steady, not loud or performative. Patience also teaches respect for timing. Not everything should happen immediately. Some opportunities require preparation before they can be handled responsibly. Discipline ensures you are ready when the time comes. Many people fail not because they lacked opportunity, but because they were not prepared when opportunity arrived. Patience keeps you training while waiting. Discipline keeps you consistent during that waiting period. Character, once built, influences every area of life. Disciplined people manage their time better, handle stress more effectively, and maintain focus on distractions. They will need constant supervision or validation. This reliability makes them trustworthy. In teams, families, and leadership roles, trust is invaluable. People naturally gravitate toward those who demonstrate discipline because they are dependable. Patience and discipline also change your relationship with failure. Instead of seeing failure as a personal attack, you see it as part of the process. Discipline helps you analyze what went wrong and adjust. Patience helps you accept that improvement takes time. However, those who endure understand that progress accumulates gradually, often invisibly. Small, consistent efforts compound over time, creating momentum that eventually produces dramatic results. Endurance allows you to stay on the path long enough to benefit from this compounding effect. Endurance also strengthens resilience. Every setback, obstacle, or rejection encountered on the journey becomes less intimidating over time. When you push through difficulty repeatedly, you develop a mental and emotional fortitude that prepares you for even greater challenges. Others may crumble under pressure, but someone who has endured knows they have the capacity to recover, adapt, and continue. This resilience is a significant advantage because life rarely delivers smooth paths to meaningful goals. Endures you are capable of navigating the chaos. Another dimension of endurance is the ability to resist temptation. Quick wins and shortcuts are always appealing, especially when results are slow. Many people are lured off their path by easy solutions that promise instant gratification, but ultimately undermine long-term success. Those who endure maintain focus on the bigger picture. They understand that immediate convenience often sacrifices lasting gain. Endurance teaches self-control, the ability to prioritize long-term benefits over fleeting pleasures, and the discipline to stay distant despite distractions. Endurance also changes your relationship with failure. Instead of viewing mistakes as reasons to quit, you begin to see them as temporary setbacks, lessons along the path. Each failure is an opportunity to adjust, learn, and improve. Those who endure long enough accumulate these lessons, gaining insights that are invisible to people who give up quickly. This accumulated knowledge becomes a hidden advantage, giving them strategic and practical wisdom that others lack. The process of enduring builds confidence. Confidence is not simply about believing you can succeed. It is built through repeated experiences of persisting when it would have been easy to stop. Every obstacle overcome, every day of consistent effort reinforces the belief in your ability to handle future challenges. This confidence is quiet, grounded, and resilient because it is earned through experience, not assumed or superficial. People who endure longest develop a sense of inevitability about their eventual success, not arrogance, but a steady trust in their own perseverance. Endurance also cultivates adaptability. Long journeys to success are never predictable. Plans change, circumstances evolve, and unexpected challenges arise. People who quit early often cannot adjust because they are invested only in the initial vision. This perspective allows you to make smarter decisions, take calculated risks, and avoid the mistakes that others repeat over and over. People who endure longest gain an insight that is nearly impossible to acquire without sustained experience. Finally, endurance multiplies the impact of all your efforts. Anyone can have talent, ideas, or a brief period of hard work. Only sustained endurance converts potential into reality. Those who persist accumulate advantage over time. Endurance transforms ordinary dreams into reality because it bridges the gap between effort and results. So as this video comes to its end, let me remind you, your journey is your power. Your struggles are your teachers. Your patience, discipline, and endurance are your superpowers.